Good afternoon to you, Alistair. Thank you for your time. So, the plight of the African penguin has been in the spotlight, if you will, for quite a few years now. Why are things not improving?
Good afternoon, Tembekile, and good afternoon to the viewers. Well, the African penguins are facing a very critical period in their life history, especially given the availability of their food, which seems to be the critical threat to their current existence. We've seen their populations decrease by just over 77% since the turn of this century. And if you compare their numbers now sitting at around about 13,500 pairs in comparison to more than 1 million birds in the early 20th century, this is quite a shocking decrease in numbers. So what the new biodiversity management plan that has just been come out for comment by government is trying to address is some of these core issues, especially around the availability of their food.
Let's talk more about the food point, because in one of your articles you talk about how growing penguin chicks need a diet that's very high in lipids, something that sardine and anchovy provide. How difficult is it to make that available to the population in its entirety?
Well, African penguins are very specific in what they eat. They've adapted to feeding on these, as you mentioned, these high nutritional value anchovy and sardine, and they're very specific to that type of food. And this forage fish, as we collectively call it, is pretty much the most abundant fish type in the Benguela system. But it's also a fish that has forage fish species that have moved in their distribution in recent years, and it's also fish that have been targeted by purse seine fishing industries.
Is there a better place? I mean, these are African penguins. Is there a better place for them in terms of habitat currently that would offer them better options than where they are currently?
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of the fish that they feed on have actually moved the center of their distribution to the east of South Africa. So areas around De Hoop in the Southern Cape are actually quite abundant in terms of fish at the moment, but there are no actual suitable islands. So BirdLife South Africa is currently investigating and has currently got in place with Christina Hagen as the core project manager in that regard to put in place a colony that's actually protected from, a land-based colony protected from predators, to try and attract penguins to that site.
Alistair McInnes of BirdLife South Africa, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.